So we are now the last last movie listed with B on your list. Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, George Roy Hill, 1969. Of course, a famous scene, I think. Raindrops keep falling on my head. B.J. Thomas.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been so long since I've seen the film. It's not a film I love, or I'm not even sure I like it. And I didn't want to take the time to watch the whole film. The clip is on YouTube. A very famous clip of Paul Newman on a bike with Catherine Ross, who, you know, I'm so in love with Catherine Ross from The Graduate and from this film and even from The Stepford Wives. I think she died a few years ago.
Okay.
And even when I went back to the scene, I was a little bit disappointed because I'd forgotten they kind of stopped the scene halfway, and George Roy Hill, the director, does this stupid thing where he gets in some slapstick. He puts in some corny kind of laughing slapstick music. And I think he speeds up the film a bit. It's really trendy filmmaking. So you get about a minute or maybe a minute and a half of B.J. Thomas, and then this stupid interlude, and then it goes back to B.J. Thomas. So in a way, it's a borderline choice, but I've got to include it because it just was one of those films that kind of framed my whole interest in the subject. And for the first minute and a half, it's great.
You know, I have to say, and I can't offer a good rationale as to why I didn't mind the slapstick bit. Actually, I did.
Okay, no, that's fine.
I thought I actually thought like it worked musically in a way. Like it reminded me of, like there was a good flow to it or something. Like it reminded me a little bit. There's a certain what's this song? Who does the song again? Something in the air. Thunderclap Newman.
Thunderclap Newman.
For a long time, I always didn't like that one part in the song, like the bridge.
Oh, that great, yeah.
It sort of goes out of the song entirely. I remember as a DJ when I used to play it, it used to bug me, but over the years, I've actually grown quite fond of that part. And it just reminded me of that a bit. Like it sort of takes you it felt still like the same thing to me, though. It was a bit comedic and a bit silly. But for some reason, I actually didn't find it, or maybe it was like it felt satisfying when it got back to, because it does go back, it does revert back.
Yeah.
So I didn't mind it. I can't really offer a rationale, but I didn't find it too distracting.
It doesn't work for me. I think you've got a list in the making there, though, Scott, because I thought of two other songs that we both love that do exactly the same thing, that just have this part in the middle that it changes. Yeah. One would be Yo La Tengo's Moby Octopad.
Oh,
remember that?
I sort of remember that, actually. Yeah.
And then the other one is Hot Chips The Warning.
I remember the song, but
it's got the really beautiful part, and then it's got this kind of breakdown in the middle.
Yeah. But the other thing I noticed in the scene when I watched it, I'm sure you picked this out, but the best shot in the Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head, I think it's like they sort of follow them around on the bike first, and it's pretty straightforward footage. But then I think on the second verse or on the chorus or something, they're actually filming through the trees.
Yes.
So you just get like parts of their face. It's so beautifully done. It's really well done.
He used, I think that film is famous partly for using this camera technique that was just coming in, where they'd overexpose the film.
Okay.
And I think you see it there because you get these flashes of light, right, as they go through the trees.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it'd be the kind of thing that certainly before directors started to mess around, it would be cut because that's a mistake. You know, they didn't want stuff like that to creep into the film. They wanted to control the lighting, and then they started to play around with that. Yeah, that's the most memorable part. That song is in there for Catherine Ross, and the song.
Well, I was going to say, and that's the second song. That's the second Bacharach David song already on the list.
That's right. They probably turned up 4 or 5 times, all told. I don't know. We'll find out. But you're right. That's the second one already.
Okay. Raindrops keep falling on my head, but that doesn't mean my eyes will soon be turning red. Cry is not for me, 'cause I'm never gonna stop the rain by complaining, because I'm free. Nothing's worrying.